Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Akuban Nights. Thank you. Thank you. So, we're going to come back in at the temple. Bud has already said his Our Fathers and Hail Marthas.
Yes.
Excellent. Did you do all of them?
I did all of them. I didn't skip one.
Good.
I may have been a bit quiet sometimes, but I tried to go through with it, and it already helped me kill the time till Sarah comes back. And I guess I wait for her at the entrance of the church.
You find yourself waiting a long time, but eventually she finishes up. Before we get to this, then, Sarah, is there anything specifically you wanted to chat with this woman about while you're doing your thing?
I mean, as we're doing it and she shows me things, can I ask her a little bit about herself?
Yeah, that's what you should be asking. Oh, never mind. Go for it.
So what is her name?
Her name... Let me read things in my room to get inspiration for a name. Her name...
Wait, what was the movie again? I keep forgetting that. There's a movie that relates to this.
I don't know, but her name is Sparkle. Yep.
Is she a
running
princess?
with it. She is not a princess.
Right.
Technically, she says, that's the Elven translation of my name. It's difficult to pronounce in Elven itself.
I understand. Unfortunately, I don't speak Elvish, but I'm sure it sounds beautiful.
Thank you.
I haven't. Are you a proper elf? Are you from Silvers then?
Half elf, he says.
Right. Is it very obvious the difference between an elf and a half elf, Neal?
It can be. Sometimes it's not, Mixing the races, sometimes one is more apparent than the other. In this case, she definitely has, pointy-ish ears, so she looks fairly elven to you.
Yeah. I say, a half elf. That's interesting. Mm-hmm. How have you come here?
Well, across the river Sindori are the Elven lands. Mm-hmm. My mother was a human. My father was an elf. They were both, how should we say? My mother worked as a town guard here in Yetel long time ago. My father still works as a guard in Thaden Laud, the elven town across the river that guards this border as well. And they had a tryst on a lonely patrol where the two sides met, and, well, then I was born. I don't know...
And you stayed with your mother, I take it?
Well, yes, they're separate factions and all. I don't actually know who my father is, but I'm sure he's still alive over there somewhere.
Well, how come you're a cleric of Martha? If your mother was a town guard.
Martha?
I was chosen when I was very young.
As was I.
I think we're going to stay in Yetel for a little bit longer. Would you mind if I came back to you? I don't want to put you at any risk. I would be very discreet about it.
If you want to learn the ways of healing, you'll have to come back. One lesson isn't enough.
I'll lean forward and I give her a hug, because it feels really good to experience, I guess, this sort of, being welcome, and somebody who seems to be a warm-hearted person to you when you've traveled that much and you've just been on the run all the time, and somebody who's so close, I guess, in spiritual ways as well. So I say I thank you from the bottom of my heart.
She pauses and thinks for a moment and says, I didn't give you my full name, though. My last name is Questari.
Right. I pause and I say, well, I'll look at her and I say, does that change things between us?
No.
I nod and I say, it doesn't change anything for me.
Okay. Then you find Bud.
Right. I put the scarf back on, then I go back to Bud. I say, so have you found what you were looking for?
I immediately hug her and put her up the air.
I do a little squeal like, not too tight, please. I still have the stitches.
Oh, sorry. And I put you back down. Yeah, a bit. I think some of a bit of weight has been lifted from my shoulders. But isn't it a good day? We arrive at the new city. So, well, the weather isn't the best, but it's the first day we had a good meal. We hadn't had to fear for our lives. No one has been killed. And we're trying to make friends.
Yeah. I think even though it is raining, I think there's, there's a little bit of sun of us on the horizon.
There's one thing though, sister, if you can help me with it. I'd like to sell some of my clothes. I think we need some coinage. We can't run around without coins all the time.
Well, we would have to go to a more fortunate area, I think. Maybe there's a market you could sell to?
Yes.
Sure. Do you want to go today, or do you want to go with the rest tomorrow?
No, I think we should do that now. Maybe use the time also to... maybe while I try to sell my clothes, or you... I'm not sure, I don't want people to know who I am. So... maybe ask some questions as well. Because I still don't know why the family now runs this city. And what's with the Shazar family.
Sure, you can do some inquiries. I can try to get rid of those clothes.
Good, let's try that. And yeah, I hand you the golden cloves, with the shoes, and hand it over to you.
All right. Do you guys want to do this with everyone else? We can sort of like hand wave the selling. You can go to a market and just sell some stuff.
Yeah, we can hand wave the market part. I guess she would pretend to be like a cleric of Martha who's received like a generous donation, and she's like trying to to put it into money so she can actually hand it out to the poor and stuff. So so it doesn't look too weird that she's walking around with like golden clothes.
Okay.
How much money do we get for the clothes that are worth 100 gold pieces? What's
You
the
can
rate of
generally
it?
sell
Because-
them for half. Are these clothes like, have they been in combat? Are they tattered or bloodied or
No.
holy?
No.
Then you can sell them for probably half price. You might be able to get more if you want to negotiate, but that's going to probably maybe reveal more information about you than you'd like.
No, I'm fine with half price, so I'm...
Okay. So you can grab 50 gold, 5,000 copper.
Can you get it in gold pieces, please? Because I don't want to be heavily encumbered.
You can get it in gold, but the value of it is 5,000 copper.
Okay, good.
Okay.
Yeah, can I ask, is there such a thing as somebody who's like, I'm not sure what the proper word, but not like a bard, but somebody who would spread news from other places?
The town crier is the one who often will shout stuff to the people and spread the news that way. Yeah. Or you can just tell one peasant a bit of juicy gossip, and before the end of the day, everyone will know it.
Right, but if there was like I mean, to listen to rather, right? I'd like to listen to figure out what's going on.
Yeah. Town crier would be the place, or a well in town where people gather, or a tavern. Any of these will do. But I think the whole party will now gather together. We're not split up into different segments.
No, we can do that together. That's all good.
Sure. Yep. You're all together here in the tavern. Maya, you wanted to go see the painter today, right?
Yes.
Okay. Do you want to do that now, or do you want to play with your family first?
I'll probably wait until everybody else gets back, just in case anything happens with Sammy, kind of thing. Just in case the other one of the muggers comes back, etc.
Right. Okay. Cool. So take it away, y'all.
So before I come back down into the tavern, I'm just gonna cast a couple spells, conjure spell component, because I've been running low on the components for my magic missile.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just gonna recoup some of those.
Sure. I trust that you track the MP and all that jazz properly. Yep. Okay. Component, conjure spell component. No material cost for that one, so you gather as you need. The party is sitting together in the tavern. It's still raining outside. There's a few people in here chatting amongst themselves. The waitress is sitting on the bar, just kind of kicking her legs back and forth, waiting for someone to need something. When someone speaks up about today's plans.
Waitress,
She comes over. What can I do for you, darling?
can you bring us some drinks?
And she
Some
will.
wine.
I thought I told you last night.
Beer.
There
Ale.
we go. That's the one.
Now, do you have a minute? We just arrived in the city, and I would have some questions, if you don't mind.
Sure.
I noticed that that a sign of the Abu Dhabi family is all over the city. One? I didn't remember that Yetel was under their protection.
Where have you been? There's a civil war on, you know.
Oh, I know, but I didn't know that the Abu Dhabi family claimed influence over Yetel. Think it is good.
Well, they didn't start that way, but push came to shove with all the things going on, and one family came out ahead of the rest. Ish. She says, kind of waving her head back and forth.
Wasn't the Shazar family also in the city?
Sweetheart, all the families are in the city, or were. But when the war started, they all took to fighting. The Shazar family did certainly seem to hold at first, but eventually their numbers ran thin. And the town guard decided to take no side and kick everybody out. And the Abu Dhadis, well, they came on in helping to clear out the rabble and made no real plans of martial law, and were certainly reasonable, and were friends with the Quistari and with the elves right next door, and most of the Quistari family being half elves from right next door, it just fit better. So the city watch and the town kind of fell into the hands of the Abu Dhabi family through the Quistari family, you know? Bunch of half elves. Place is crawling with them.
A friend of mine started working for this Shazar family a couple of months ago. And if you could point me to the manor they have been occupying in the city, that would be helpful.
What you mean?
Don't they have a residence here?
You just want the Quistari family's home. Well, I hate to break it to you, but they're not a big fan
the Shazar
of...
family's home.
Sure, but they're gone. They've all been driven out. Or jailed. The house is lying empty, minus the people set to watch it. You're not a rogue, are you?
No.
No.
I'm... You can ask my sister, I'm definitely not a rogue.
Is he a rogue?
I've never met anybody less stealthy or subtle in my entire life.
Well, good. Sure, and
Could you
she tells you where it is.
tell me where it is?
Yep.
Thank you. And I hand her a silver piece.
Thank you. Yeah. So, you now know where the Shazar family's house is, although it lies empty now. What are you gonna do?
So, Sammy,
Yeah.
are you able to contact your friend?
If he's in the city, sure.
I didn't see him traveling with us. I don't think he might be here.
No, he's most likely gone back to Talashar.
I don't want this travel to be for the waste. We traveled all the way to speak to the head of the Shazar family, and now they're all gone?
That's the thing. They're in hiding here. They're using their spells to remain unhidden, to remain hidden among the people. I don't know if they have a hideouts or something, but they must be staying somewhere. And
Is there any way we can draw attention from us to them? I mean, to make sure that they know that we are in the city already, that they might try to contact us.
depending on which family members are in town, I could try to send a message to one of them to meet us. But, I don't know who's ain't going to be here, and last time I saw any of the Shazar family was when I got registered as a young boy. Except for Zeb.
Do you think they are monitoring their own estate, their own old estate as well?
Oh, for sure.
Maybe we can take a stroll by. Don't cause any drama, but just let us be seen so that they might pick up that we're here.
Neal, have I been in Yetel before?
Probably. Yeah.
Would
expect so.
I know where the Shazar library is? Whether it's attached to their manor or otherwise in a different location?
It would be a public building near their house that they would monitor. So you would know its location.
Yeah. I'm sure they would monitor their locale, and honestly, they're probably still using their library. Possibly some of the more hidden areas of it that are off the public record. Maybe underground. I don't know. It's just a thought.
So taking a trip to the library might not be a bad idea?
Well, no, of course not. If as long as people don't recognize me, I can get a lot of useful information out of
I could help with making you less recognizable, brother.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, you could really do with being less recognizable at the moment, surely.
Yes, I know.
And while we are in the city trying to make friends, we should try not to kill anyone. Are we okay with that?
Should always try. Regardless of where we are, we should always try.
Good.
Yes, yes. I will certainly attempt to not kill anyone unless, self-defense or defense of the family.
Good, good. So the party gets together, they take a stroll through the rainy city streets until they end up at the library next to the Shazar family's house. The doors are open. Well, one door is cracked open slightly. It's raining, they don't want the extra moisture and humidity to get in. So, door is cracked open with a little doorstop in there. No one else is in the streets anywhere to be found.
Well, I guess I'll go in. Thanks to the family. And I open the door a bit more, and
Hang on, are you heading off to the library?
we're all heading off to the library, I thought.
Right, okay. No, I've got other things to do.
Oh, where is Maya going?
To go say hi to the painter.
Before you do so, can you
Yes,
disguise
that's
me?
what I was about to say. Was like I'll just be like, all right, I have things to do this evening, but right, come here, right,
Yeah.
okay, hopefully change the hair and then. Okay,
Give me a
yes,
disguise check for this. This is maybe a little bit more important than the last time.
Thief disguise. Boop.
Beautiful. All right. No one will recognize Sammy unless he
Not
opens his
even-
mouth and talks. But yes, he looks visually different.
Yeah.
So the party, three-quarters of the party head off to the library. Maya skips down the street, metaphorically, to the painter's studio. It is a small, dingy second-floor apartment with views of the ocean and the harbor. There's a walkway, there's a central courtyard with many doors at the bottom. Each door heads into a different apartment. One of them heads upstairs to this little lofty thingy. The door is unlocked, and as you head up, you can hear the sounds of a angry painter. No, that's not right. What about a little more white? Oh God, no, I can fix it with this, and with this, and with that. And you step on some sort of creaky board that goes, and he pops his head up and looks around as you come up the staircase.
What was his name again? Shit, I forget.
I don't think we got a name from him.
All right.
I think he's just Nameless Painter Man.
Okay, right. Okay, so I'll just sort of tap on the door and we just. Is the door open or shut?
Oh, it's wide open. Yeah.
Okay, I'll just sort of tap on the door frame and just lean on it and be like, hello.
Why, hello there, my Ice Queen. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you. Yes.
Your
But I-
work is not quite done yet. You've arrived early.
Oh, really? Can I have just a tiny peek?
It's not done. It's not done. It's not ready for human consumption.
Okay. Would you mind if I just... Could I watch you work, perhaps? From this side where I can't see it. I do love to watch an artist at work. It's so inspiring.
Yes. It would be a unique pleasure to have a beautiful muse in my presence while I work.
Tell me, do you have any wine?
Wine is the
tavern-
one thing I have in great supply aside from paint.
Oh,
Here.
thank goodness. The tavern where we are staying only has ale.
Ugh. He mumbles. Wait right there, he says, and he heads off to the back of the apartment where there's some cupboards, and he starts opening them and pulling up bottles and shaking them and putting them down, looking for the one that has alcohol still in it. few moments later, he comes back with a wine bottle and pours you a glass, and pours himself a glass,
Oh,
holds it up for you.
oh, thank you so very much. I'll clink glasses with him.
Clink.
And how is the wine?
It is maybe the worst wine you've had, but it's not bad. It's just like middle of the road wine, but it's probably the worst you've ever had because you're, fancy.
It has personality. Yes. It's a cheeky little vintage. Indeed. So, yeah, I'm just gonna kind of, just watch him work for a while, make sort of like polite and slightly flirty conversation, and see if he bites.
With the flirty conversation?
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. Yes. He's rolled a 1 on his willpower check. He will bite anything you put near his mouth. Let's put it that way.
Awesome. Right. In that case, I'm probably going to again try and sort of be like, come on, can I just have a little look? I won't judge it. I promise I won't judge it. I love to see things as they're being made. I'd love to see your technique.
I'll show you mine if you show me yours.
Oh. You mean painting or?
He gives you some sort of wink.
Please, you first. I must get inspired first.
He flips the canvas around to face you, and the picture is... it's definitely Maya, but it also doesn't really look like Maya. It's got this, mean scowl, and, with the way the hood is on you, or, not on you, and the hair is swept to the side, and the water running down your face. You're like, well, that's me, but... all of the other paintings of me, I look fantastic, and in this one, I look like a dirty, wet peasant, so...
But, okay, would anybody who didn't know it was me be like, oh my god, that's Maya, or it's just like, kind of looks like Maya, but...
It would have to be, a family friend, or someone who knew you very, very well to be able to recognize it for who you are.
And even then, they'd be like,
Yeah, then it was probably, an artist representation, because why would Maya stand in this, it's so out of character.
So it's probably not going to cause me any problems long term.
Yeah, imagine if some random photographer came back with a photo of, Barack Obama in, beggar's clothes standing next to a freeway with a sign that said, please help for change.
Yeah, you'd be like,
nah. That's not Obama. That's just some other guy that sort of looks like him. There's no way that would be him, but, one of his family members would be like, Barack? Barry? Is that you? What are you doing on the side of the sideway?
Yeah. So, probably not going to cause me any issues, and if they are, it's deniable.
Yeah.
In which case, I will just, be like, oh, interesting.
Well,
I like it.
tit for tat.
I will snog him.
Oh, wow, yeah. Snog means kiss, right?
Sorry?
Snog means kiss.
Yes,
okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Shag is, the other one.
Right, yeah, I didn't know if there was another nuance of the word snog that I was unfamiliar with.
It's full on.
Oh, okay. Full on. Blah, 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 blah. All right. It goes back and forth. How far would you like to take this romance?
Not super far. I'll just sort of give him a good snogging, but if he tries getting it a bit too frisky, I'll just be like, oh, I can't. I must. My family be expecting me, but it's. Perhaps I could see you again sometime.
Yes, again, sometime soon.
Yes, and I'm just gonna sort of now I've established that the painting's probably not going to cause me any issues. I don't have to do anything terrible to the painting or murder this guy. I'm just gonna sort of give him one last kiss and then just leave.
But before you go, your name, I must know it.
Oh, it's Joan.
Joan?
Joan.
My dearest Joan. And as you make your way down the stairs, you can hear him singing an improvised song about how Ephra, the goddess of art and inspiration, has sent Joan here to make him the greatest painter there ever was, and how Joan's, beauty inspires him and has given him all sorts of new ideas, and he needs more red for the passion he feels in his artwork. This is all gray and dismal. No, we need reds and greens and colors. Yes.
Well, it's always nice to inspire an artist.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay, well, the wine was indifferent, and the company was awkward, but it's fine.
Mm-hmm.
I've had worse evenings.
All right. Cool. The rest of the party is at a library. You head on in. There are a few monks standing around in dingy brown robes, tied with hemp cords, looking through pages. One of them, squeezing his hand while he's sitting at a book, having probably been writing for the last few hours. One of the head librarians is nearby and comes over and says, good afternoon, good people. Can I help you with something? Anything?
I'll look at Sammy.
I'll look at Sarah.
What the fuck?
I was told not to talk.
Maybe Maya should have gone with you.
Probably. We don't have anybody who wants to, I don't know anything about libraries or how, magical things work.
Is there a particular book you're looking for?
Well, I'd like to have a book about the great families of Akuba.
She leads you through a few rows, back into the stacks, and pulls out a good book that's been chained to one of the racks, and pulls out a key and unlocks it, takes it over to a table, locks it up to that table, and sets it down before you.
I'm pretty sure you're more well versed in this book than I am. Could you bring me to the page about the Shazar family?
They start flipping. She starts flipping through it and says, "What in particular did you wish to know about the Shazarians?"
Oh. I'd like to know a bit about their history with the city. Because I know there was a time before the Civil War where all the houses had kind of been friends and good colleagues.
A better time, surely.
And I'd like to know why these things in Yetel happened, and why the Shazar family got treated the way it was.
Oh, you know how things...
A friend of mine worked for the Shazar family. That's why I'm inquiring. I'd like to find out if he might have survived or not, how the chances are.
Still flipping, looking for the right page, the librarian says, "What was your friend's name?"
Ruby.
And what did she do for them?
She was, I think she was hired as a mate. I'm not 100% sure. And I kind of kick Sarah.
Okay.
Well,
Because Buzz running out, but he has no idea what to say right now, other than...
The maids are probably fine, the librarian says. After all, it was only the head family members that were removed from the city. Their staff has been let go. She's probably just unemployed.
What happened to the rest of the family?
You're certainly taking a keen interest in them. Are you a wizard, perchance?
For the record, my
shake-
book is stuffed in my bag.
I shake my head. No, unfortunately not. I've never taken to the arcane arts.
I dabble in the arts.
Do you now? Well, apparently, they, with the heads of six other families, were all kicked out. I believe they're roaming the countryside aimlessly. You know, there seem to be a lot of family members, noble family members, roaming the countryside aimlessly. Rumor is even the families of the king are scrounging around the desert somewhere.
I think you shouldn't trust the rumors.
No?
What would a noble family do in the middle of a desert? I think it is more likely that they're in some city talking to some people and having a nice day.
Yeah.
Maybe a rainy day.
The librarian just closes the book, dropping all pretense, and says, well then. Looking around at the three of you. Shall we speak as honest people?
I nod, and I look at him. I say, "I'm sorry, we have to come with this pretense. You know, it is difficult these days."
Of course, it's fine. She says. He says. She.
You said she.
I said she. I rolled it. That's fine. It's now a female character. In the notes, it's a male character. Dice get all confused. She.
Maybe she doesn't know. You know, maybe you're not quite sure. Could be either way. You know, it's like,
It could be
Yeah.
a thing. There you go.
Yeah, or
Oh,
maybe she is disguised as a he for purposes of maintaining her identity. I think that's, or yes. He's disguised as she to maintain his identity. That's the secret. All right. So you can't pull off a fake non-existent beard. Oh my god, how do you pretend to be a woman? He takes out the padding from his robes? I don't know. His voice drops a few octaves. There we go, that's what it is. So, you've come here looking for us?
I can't take this seriously.
Why not, Sammy?
So I'll just say, we have come here, we fled here. We don't mean to cause a giant ruckus here or anything. We're really just trying to lay low for a while.
Seb said you might be coming this way.
Zeb is a good person.
Sammy knows.
So,
It was
what
It
can
was
we
kind
do
of an
for you?
invitation, and I thought we take the invitation, but now we don't know if you might need our help more than we need yours.
Unless you can put the kingdom back together.
That's the ultimate plan.
At least we have the same dream.
Are you the only one here in the library?
I would rather keep what secrets we have, unless they need to be shared.
Very well.
What can I do for you?
Seb said we could either seek refuge here or seek information here.
We can put you up in our house for the time being, so you do not attract the attention of the commoners.
I thought you lost your house.
It was officially taken from us, but they've shut the door and posted a guard outside. There are many ways in and out of the house.
It's just as I expected. Someone of the magic family.
Well, you might be disappointed by the means then.
Oh, please don't tell me it's through the sewers.
No. But we did build an underground passage between our house and the library when we built the library some hundreds of years ago.
Off the record, surely.
Of course.
Well, now that we're speaking, right, I do need a couple books. I'm hoping for anything regarding the history of what's her name? I actually had her name like right now, and then I just lost it.
I love how we're about to talk giant alliances and Sammy's just coming out with this crumpled list. Right? With this list with books, and he's just trying to decipher his handwriting, and it's all washed away from the rain. He's like,
Brutana, the barbarian from the hills.
Brutana. A famous warrior of legend, yes.
Yes.
1,300 years old, or thereabouts, I believe.
Yeah, to help matters of locating any resources that would be helpful, I'm specifically looking for any information regarding her artifacts during her life, like her horn and her belt.
So he will help you with this problem. In the meantime, I think he's going to shuffle you guys off into their house through the underground passage under the street so that you're out of view. And we'll come back sometime later with some books on the subject to let you peruse through them. I don't know how Maya's going to catch up with you guys since you're sort of secreted away.
She's probably not going to. She's probably...
What I'm going to do is I'm going to cast a messenger spell.
God damn it, I was hoping for the evening off. So
I mean, you can pretend you never heard.
to go back to the cabin.
just pretend you don't hear it. No, you don't hear it, because I think that's a common theme with Sammy's messages. He keeps sending messages, people are just like, I don't care, I'm not gonna listen.
So I'm going to send a messenger. It's like a bird that comes into existence and delivers a short message to someone within 4 miles. So I know what Maya looks like, so it's very easy for it to locate her.
God damn it.
And I just send the message.
Hold on, you've glossed over the most important part of the spell.
The most important part.
The spell components and the casting of the spell.
Is a feather.
Yeah, but what do you do with the feather? You have to eat it. How does Sammy eat a feather?
Wait.
Is it just
oh
like...
Oh my god, it does!
Do you just like put the whole feather down your mouth? Do you cut it up into pieces? Do you mix it with ketchup? What do you do? How do you eat a feather?
Right it and snip.
What is it with you and ingesting spell components?
Does it have to be a big feather, or could it just be like a little bit of goose down or something? Because one of those is much easier to eat than the other.
That's true. It just says a feather. So as long as you can...
Pin feather.
You're a terrible person, Neal.
Eating a feather's not a bad thing. It's not like...
So the message is going to be...
So I'm just gonna like, it's gonna be a small feather, but I just like fold it over and then put it in my mouth and just hold my hand over my mouth and start chewing it. And then start like doing the actual magic part, and then saying the phrase, Maya, it's Sammy. If you go to the Shazar library and tell the head librarian who you are, he will lead you to us. We are underground, the Shazar's house. And it's like a minute.
In that case, so let's just pretend this is a bird. So it just sort of appears and goes plop, and then starts talking quietly in Sammy's voice. And I'm just like,
Yep. Yeah. The bird sort of squawks at you, and you hear Sammy's message, and you're like, okay, all right.
I will head off to the fucking library then. Grumpily.
All right. The whole family is back together again. You've got these books on Brutana. Sammy's rolling through them. Give me an intelligence check, 1 per day, to go through these books until you pass, at which point you find the information that you're looking for.
Sure.
The original fireball spell requires bat guana and sulfur. And does a wizard need to eat that in your world?
The original fireball spell does not call for the ingestion of those materials.
But Neal's
The new fireball spell. Oh, is it not called fireball? Is it called like dimensional gate or something? Minor
the
gateway.
conjuration's dimensional door or something.
Well, the one that brings through the fire from the plane of fire.
Yeah, it's
minor gateway.
Minor gateway.
That's what we changed the name to. Oh, no, it just needs a stick of chalk or a paintbrush that you then draw in the air around you. Then it opens a portal to the plane of fire and shoots fire out in a single direction. It's pretty sweet. Okay. Family's back together. Did you pass your check?
I did not even roll it.
Fucking Sammy.
I was looking at the fireball spell.
He was eating feathers.
I was eating feathers. And,
All right. Within the first 6 hours of having the book, the tomes on the subject, you find a section in there about Brutana, and she definitely did have a horn that she carried around. And, you know, her voice was booming through it and would knock people back and blast them this way and that, helping to break the lines of their enemies and yada, 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 yada. In it, there is a description of her saying things, but it's all, like, in barbarian. How do we...
well,
you don't
I could
speak
always get a
barbarian, do you?
translator. Wait. Isn't Yassi a barbarian translator?
I do believe Yassi speaks barbarian. Doesn't she? Didn't we say that?
I believe she was doing translation.
You made a list of languages.
Yeah. So, you ask Yassi or something?
Yeah.
Yeah.
She, no, she doesn't actually.
She doesn't.
Goblin, Eridonian, Akuban, Knoll, Halfling, Dwarven, Drakissian. My apologies. I guess I try to decipher it.
Give me another intelligence check.
Excuse me. 23.
Yeah. It appears that it's probably her own name, but in the barbarian tongue, which is not quite Brutana, but some other pronunciation of it, because there's a whole bunch of like written garbage that the barbarians said, so there's sort of like the layman's translation of what it said over and over again. You see her name kind of pop up in a few different places, and you're like, I think it's Brutana's name in their barbarian tongue that is the component for this spell.
So I'm gonna write that with like some notes on like how best to say it, like for myself, so that I can like test it at some point in the future.
Maybe you should ask one of your siblings that married her. They spent a few nights together.
There would have been some names called out, surely.
There definitely might have been some names and some pronunciations.
I mean, they didn't spend the night with Brutana, they spent the night with Rada.
Right, but you might be able to get the, you know, a tonality.
Also, it's
Sarah,
like,
Sarah.
let's pretend that I'm Brutana and you're the enemy.
I think I've worked something out here. The horn. Is this Brutana's name? It's like, I just don't know how to like say it properly or.
Well, I think I've heard one of them mention it when they were speaking about the tomb. Like, they used her name in a weird way. It didn't sound like we say it.
Did you remember?
I think it sounded like so they roll the R, and then they put in, it sounds like they put an extra H in there. So it sounded more similar. Is it safe if I say it? Do I explode if I say the word?
No. I've got the. It's over there in my bag.
So it was more similar to Brutanha when they said it.
Are we going with this, Neal?
Sure, yeah. But there's only one way to know if it's going to work, and that's to test it. Maybe you shouldn't test it indoors, though.
Yeah, maybe I should test it.
Maybe you should go outside when you play with your balls.
Tunnel?
Yeah, don't play ball in the house. Don't blow horns of blasting in the house or the tunnel. You know.
Can I through the research, can I determine whether it's like just a pushing force of like splitting people and pushing them to one side and backwards, or is it going to actually cause damage to a building or a person?
It will cause damage to a building. It can destroy walls. You can use it to siege keeps and castles. It will fuck up everything in its path. It is a destructive weapon.
So if I use it on a person, expect them to hurt.
Absolutely. Possibly die. You know.
Well, I think I've worked out the eccentricities of this artifact. It's kind of more powerful than anything I can really do right now. I'm kind of worrying if we ever have to use it, honestly.
Well, let's just keep it for an emergency. You don't have to use it right now. Just keep it safe. Make sure you don't lose it.
Yeah, you know, just if we have any problems, give it a blow, right?
It's a very destructive weapon, Maya. It's just something that should be a last resort, so to speak.
Well, yes, it's obviously going to be quite, you know, obvious when we use it. I'm all about subtlety, thank you very much.
I would just feel bad for whatever is in the path of its destructive force.
What if it's more undead?
Well, undead I can deal with.
See, there's always a way to rationalize things, brother.
The people in the Civil War aren't undead.
I'm sure you can rationalize your way out of it, though. So I'm not suggesting we use it on people in the Civil War. Dear gods, no.
So do we ever get?
That's why we're collecting.
Do we ever get visited in this house while Sammy does his research, or do the Shazar family just leave us in there? Because I take it they
visit you in the house, going. Woo.
Oh, give me the horn! It's horn time. Ghosts.
No, turns out it was just a guy in a mask. It's fine. Yeah.
It's Old Man Smithers. Get him.
Fucking Smithers. Okay, so there are other people here. You're kind of in the basement layer of the house. There are a few rooms that other Shazar family members are in, although their presence here is quite small. Maybe 10 people at most, although it's hard to tell since they're coming and going and doors are shut and you hear voices. You're kind of making like a rough guess. But you've got time to yourself. time for each other. You've got a safe, warm, dry place with food and water, and we can sort of just skip ahead in time until you're rested and want to do something, because you are in a safe place. You may save your game. You
As far
may
as we know.
take a long rest.
I'm probably going to go shopping for arrows at some point.
Yeah, I need some. Can you bring me some too? Can
Sure.
Mine's just like...
What?
Magic word?
Please? Would you please bring me some arrows too when you go arrow shopping?
I'd be happy to. I'm not a servant, you know.
That would be really nice. And I guess even though we are in safety, I would still pay, like, for the time, like, if we spend more days there, I would still pay visits to the temple and go to see Sparkle as well.
Sure. You can get your arrows.
Maya strops off and buys arrows.
Yeah, they're gonna be cheap. Why don't you just shell out like 3 silver, and you will just say you have all the arrows you could possibly need.
That'd be what's the maximum amount of arrows I can carry?
Your quiver will hold 20. So if you want more than that, you need another quiver, and more quivers are just harder to carry. So 20 is usually the like.
Okay, yeah, I'll just top it up to 20 then.
Yeah, that's the comfortable limit.
Okay, so 3 silver. All right.
And that's also arrows for what's her face. So
What's her face?
yeah.
I feel appreciated.
So many names.
I think Bud is going to get restless after the first day. So if there's nothing happening, nothing, the Shazar family is not coming to us with any invitation or any talk after the first day. I think Bud is trying to get one of them to have a talk with one of them.
Yeah, sure. What would you like to say to them?
Excuse me. While I am very grateful for the hospitality you give us, I'd like to talk to someone who's able to tell me why we are here. Pretty sure you not only brought us to Yetel just for the good of out of your heart. There must be a reason behind it, and I'd like to know it.
I think you brought yourself here.
Yes. Seb mentioned that it would be a good idea to travel to Yetel. And as warm and as nice it is to sit in a comfortable location for a while, sitting here and doing nothing kind of makes me a bit nervous.
Well, what goals are you trying to achieve? Here's a safe place for you, but if you want more than to simply live in safety, I suppose you should figure out what you want out of life.
Well, that question is answered very fast. I want that has been given to me by birthright.
Well then, sounds like you want to win the war.
First of all, I would like to find out who's our friends and where we could start to win members over to form some kind of resistance or ability to unite us again. I think my will to rule Akuban is not enough to bring us all together.
What do your siblings say on the matter?
Are we all there?
Can be.
Yeah, you can be, no problem.
Like, whatever, okay. I'm going to say,
Maya's
so...
back from arrow shopping.
Right. I'm going to say,
I can wait with the conversation until you're back.
Sure.
we can have it together. Like, I guess Bud would still be, leading the conversation, but if they were looking at us, I guess I'd pitch in as well, and I'd say,
Yeah.
So the civil war is a very, very grave matter. We all understand that. And the thing is, we have to still think ahead. The entire country is currently in grave danger. If I look at Mystrian and the rest of the world, being in a civil war is the least favorable position we can be in. Like, we're putting ourselves in grave danger by having a civil war right now. The end goal has to be to keep Akuba safe from, well, for example, from dragons that are looming at the horizon. But to be able to do that, I think we first need to reunite the country, or at least to stand together and prepare for what is coming ahead while the others are still fighting.
Certainly.
The Shazar family is a great family. You observe magical matters, but you also have capable spellcasters in your ranks. Is that right?
Yes.
If we could form some alliance, if we could find a way to make the Shazar family more powerful, maybe through artifacts, maybe through hidden knowledge or something.
Our position here is a tenuous one at best. We serve to keep things in line, prevent the rise of terrible magics and necromancers and the sort. We and the country can ill afford to take a side in this engagement. We would be happy to provide some small background assistance, but publicly declaring for one side or another would only be to the detriment of all of us.
Would there still, even if you were not publicly declaring for one side or another, would there still be a way to strengthen the family? It doesn't need to be an official alliance, but I'm worried about if there was ever a dragon to come, then I think a family of magic users is what we would need to defend Akuba.
I think what we would need to defend Akuba would be a family of warriors and clerics and magic users together. He says,
We're a
staring.
really small family, but that is what we are.
Most of us are diviners or minor enchanters. Certainly not trained or ready for war. Can you imagine one of us campaigning around the desert, having to walk, going hungry?
It's a rough walk, I can vouch for that.
Right. I do believe we have already found the saviors of our country, and that is you. If you wish, he says, looking back to Bud, if you wish to rule, take your rightful place, you ought to do the legwork. People follow good leaders. No one likes a boss. You do know the difference between being a boss and being a leader, right?
I don't think he does, no. Maybe you should explain.
Since I came back to Akuba, I have nothing but tried to be the good person I am. And the person I was back then. I tried, and I did, arrange a contract with our neighbor. But still.
Didn't that contract involve engaging me to a baby?
It did, but sometimes the price has to be paid, and I don't think it was too high.
Ooh, yes, about that.
I'm so glad.
Young Gilder child has been returned to Mystria.
Oh dear. What a
Yes. Your,
shame. Yeah.
Your
distraught.
engagement has been broken. I am sorry to report.
Oh no, I am distraught. However, will I cope?
Does this mean Mystria knows of our...
Death? Yes.
I just need to. Maya's just gonna walk outside the room, and you hear faint, like laughing.
Well, I meant more like if they knew the troubles of the civil wars,
Most certainly.
because that would invite, well, anyone
Yes.
to step in as a third party, and well, that never ends well.
Yes.
I fear for Akuba.
Yes. We are in grave danger here. The way I see it, the country is threatened from within by the war, and from without by others who would take advantage of our situation. You 4, 6 have some sort of great journey ahead of you. I can't imagine what you will do or where you will go, but if it is your desire to bring everyone back together in peace and prosperity, then perhaps you should speak with one of the sides and pick. One's as good as another, right?
Why do you say one of the? There are 3 sides right now, right?
Yes.
Technically 4.
I suppose 4 is accurate, yes.
No side is basically a side amongst itself, yeah.
Wise words, my lord. I think.
Can I ask, what do you think about the Abuda Questari alliance? Because that is the alliance that is ruling the city, right?
And the Paladins, don't forget them.
Right.
There has been little bloodshed in Yetel since the Abudads came to town. They seem fine. More than anything, they seem to not have really done anything or interfered with anyone around here. I suppose the politicians that do nothing are the best ones?
The ones that cause the least distress, surely.
I suppose.
Honestly, out of all the... I'm not a political man myself, but out of all the houses, we probably have the most in common with those 3. I've journeyed with Questari in my youth, as they are hunters by trade. I'm sure my sister has had many involvement with the Paladin family, with their maintenance of the temples and shrines.
Well then.
And as for the Abadad, buying and selling livestock is a very passive nature task, but one that will always be useful in our land.
Right. Well, I think you have your answers then.
There's one thing I need to tell you.
Yes.
Our father left a testament when he died in Talushar with his friend. Shortly before we arrived, the place was attacked and he was murdered. We were able to find the testament, even though we are not sure if it is the real one or not. It gave us informations about places in Akuban where artifacts have been buried, tombs, catacombs. And the interesting thing is, as we were able to find the resting place of Brutana, we were able to locate 3 soldiers that were turned into stone, who had been scouting for places like those that we had been given information about. So clearly, they knew something that we were up to. And they had been wearing the armor, the symbols of House Shazaran.
Well then, it sounds like you have found your culprit.
Might have, yes. But still...
Might? Is there doubt? Your father's will was taken, and you ended up
I don't...
going, and they ended up in the same place that the will was directing you?
I don't doubt that the Shazaran family is hungry for power. And that in some shape or form, they have worked actively on destroying the council and destroying our way of life. But I'm not sure if I can tie them to the assassin that killed our father.
Well... Indisputable proof is extraordinarily rare to come by. You must catch someone red-handed in order for indisputable proof. If you wait for that, you will never get it. But this sounds like evidence enough.
Indeed, indeed.
Well, I guess we will have a talk among ourselves and try to figure out what the next decision will be and how we will approach it. So thank you very much.
And he leads you guys to your business. Okay, what do you guys want to do?
Did you read the message in chat?
In chat?
Yes, I can offer some ideas, and we can
yes.
we can think about that.
Sure. Why don't we go to our second break, which is way late, and when we come back, we will sort everything out. See you guys on the other side.